Wretham is a former Toronto Police Detective Sergeant and currently a partner at Investigative Solutions Network. Now, Ron, you've been spending the day looking at these pictures.
Yes.
What are you seeing?
Well, the first picture that I saw was of the construction itself, and having a bit of a background in construction and home building, I can tell you that this was an immaculate job, very well built, very well planned, very well engineered, and whoever did the actual construction really knew what they were doing. I also noticed relative to the construction that they used 2x8s for the studs. They used double 2x8 plate on top. You can see that in this photo where you can see the line down the center of the stud. So that's the two 2x8s put together. So they knew that they had to have something of this magnitude to hold the weight. That's not normal construction. Normal construction is a single 2x6. Also, what I found interesting was the generator that was there, and I also noticed that there was an air compressor there. And when I looked at how these beams were nailed together, clearly it was done with an air gun. So it's a pro job. It's a pro job.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that is out of line with all those clear construction materials is the poppy and the rosary that John talked about.
Right.
Now, when you look at that, what does that tell you?
Well, I just found that as a huge flag, and as you said, I spent most of today speaking with our criminal profiler at our firm, and we have a former CIA agent who we confer with, who's an expert in terrorism, and we just find this very, very bizarre. And out of the whole thing, the most interesting piece of evidence, a rosary, religion, a poppy celebrates remembrance. Is that somehow a link? Is this, and not to be an alarmist, but is this someone who wants to continue on from the shooting in Ottawa? Is it someone who's been Catholic faith, who has been radicalized? It just begs a whole lot of questions. Very, very bizarre.
What happens now? What will investigators be doing? What are the next steps?
Well, I'm sure they've collected a huge amount of evidence from the scene, forensic evidence. So they will be combing through that. And then from there, they will be interviewing people in the area. They'll be interviewing neighbors. They'll be interviewing people at lumber yards. I'm sure not all of the materials that they required were stolen from the Rexall Center. So there's a huge amount of work to be done.
I bet. Yes. And they clearly, at this point, are stumped.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Ron.
You're welcome.